No, that was my sister. That's what started.
Oh, yeah.
It's my sister. It's a mountain. Oh, come on. Hey, it's 6 o'clock. Please stand for the pledge. Remain standing for the prayer. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, you are the one that made the earth, and we appreciate all that you've done for us. Creating man, you stretched out the heavens with your hands and ordained all their host. We know it's your desire to bless, and we know you are a generous and loving God. We pray to you tonight for the people of our community right now. We're asking for the blessing of employment and for making this a community of opportunity. Please open the doors, Father, that no man can shut, and give opportunities for the people to work and provide for their families. And Father, you can bring streams in the desert, so we ask the stream of employment to flow into our community. We also ask a stream of people that want to work and want to live here. Because the people and the businesses that are to prosper and to enable them to be a blessing to others. Establish a cycle of blessing and generosity. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Jan? Just a pleasure of roll call.
Dan Vinson, not here. Bob Leahy.
Here.
Jim Hufford.
Here.
Tim Heiss.
Here.
Chad Spence.
Here.
Trustee had a chance to review the consent agenda as presented. Any changes or corrections? If not, entertain a motion.
We accept the consent agenda as presented.
We have a first or a second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right. Department reports, just kind of give you an update. We got the trash dumpster, or actually the dumpsters down on the south side of town for community cleanup, and it will be manned over the weekend from, what's the hours, Jan?
8 to 4.
8 to 4. And so appreciate everybody's duties of cleaning up the property and getting rid of the stuff that they don't need anymore, since the little, what do we call it? What did we have it last weekend?
Garage sale.
Garage sales. Well, what didn't sell at the garage sale, now we get rid of them. So, just a quick update. Let's see, working on some, just give you an update on ordinance violations and notices and whatever else so far. We've had 75 notices posted, and we're working with Linda Wilcox to kind of streamline the whole process, so it is basically utilizing e-ticket. So working on that, and we'll do a little training for that. Then we'll be coming back to you here in a couple weeks, actually in our next meeting for on our lateral. Monty, did we verify that we had that? Yes. Put a dollar amount for compliance.
Mhm.
Okay.
Subsection E.
So we got that in there. By the time we get around to it, Monty's going to update us on the economic opportunity zone that we've been have established. It's a national standard. Just to give you, let's see, been working, adding some. Got one gentleman that's just doing on a part-time basis, finalizing the, putting in the new water meters. So actually, he's one of our past employees. And then the other employee is part-time help that's doing a lot of the weed spraying and whatever else throughout, whether it's the railroad tracks downtown or Park and Cemetery. And then we've got a couple seasonal high school students that'll be starting up here shortly as well. I was trying to think here.
Did you say seasonal or seasoned?
Seasonal. And
Okay.
and seasonal.
It's like, how long have they been in high school?
So, but
Back.
yeah, they'll be back. So,
The part-time employees are seasoned.
yeah.
The ones we have now.
Other than that, that's all I have. Jan?
I just want to make sure everybody got the Randolph County Comprehensive Plan that I emailed out. We'll be talking about it this meeting, but will be next meeting because we have to what do you call it? Approve it, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, Janet, I actually, let me jump in here. Really take a look at it from a Union City perspective and how it relates to all of Randolph County. The reason why I bring that up is I have taken a look at it, and there's a lot of concentration outside of Union City, and I think that we need to, since we paid for a portion of this, and other communities did not, I think we should probably have a chance to voice our opinion. So please take a look at it, and so we can get it back in Randolph County's hands. Sorry about that, Jan.
Oh, that's fine.
Anything else?
Nope.
Council members. Train. One more time. Thank you. Chad.
Nothing at this moment.
Tim?
I'd just like to congratulate the Indians baseball team for winning the sectional yesterday.
I had it written down.
Had a heck of a game, went into an extra inning, but the young men prevailed. Quite a performance.
Was it
And yes, it was back and forth, and they hung in there, didn't give up. They seem to have had a season of several of those where they play hard to win.
Yes, absolutely. And how many seniors?
5, I believe. I think that's right.
Yeah, there were 3 runs up with 2 outs and nobody on base.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Randall Southern come back and tied it up.
Tied it.
We were all in shock. In fact, they could have won it.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah, it was.
Jim?
The only thing I got is I found out, about Dan down there with his wife, I guess. I think we should do something as a council, send him something or another to let him know that we do back him. I mean, he's staying home because of her. So
Yeah.
I
really
totally
think we
feel
ought to
that.
do
It was a
something.
great idea.
Get together. Okay.
I sent a text a little bit ago too, just letting them think about it. But if there's anything we could do too, I mean,
Yeah,
if
I
he needs
just
help
don't
with
know.
anything
Yeah.
around the house or anything,
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no idea.
We'll reach out and see what we can do for him. Anything else, Jim?
That's it.
Bobby?
I just wanted to give a shout out to everyone involved with the way the park and downtown, and actually everywhere around over the holiday weekend. Everything was beautiful. Some flowers in and everything looked great.
Look, actually,
Great
appreciate
job by whoever was involved.
appreciate you bringing that up, because I tell the guys that the times of year when you really need to shine is around Memorial Weekend, because you have a lot of out-of-towners coming in, and they're using the depot or whatever else, visiting all aspects of the community. Then you got 4th of July, and you got Labor Day, and they do a good job of. And we put a full court press out, picking things up that don't need to be laid in the street or whatever else. So the guys did a good job on
I
that.
sure did.
So,
That's all I had.
Monty?
Yeah, we have as we're part of the regional stellar application for the Eastern Indiana Regional Planning Commission. They have their session at the Ball State on June the 7th at 9:30 a.m. and they would like to have many people show up as possible to that. It'll be down in Richmond, and they haven't given me the exact location yet, but I'll get that out to you just as soon as I know.
That's June 7th at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Regional Stellar.
Yeah.
It'd probably be at the hospital, I imagine, and that's where they usually hold their meetings, in the
Could
basement of the
be, yeah.
hospital.
and our one project is the backstay.
Backstay. Continue working on the local tracks grant to redo the Jackson Pike Railroad underpass. Got really nice letters of support from the businesses and Senator Rates, and got some requests out to a couple of other legislators. So that's starting to shape up pretty good, and that goes in. I thought that went in next month, but it goes in August. And we did receive the designation as an economic opportunity zone from Governor Holton. So that encourages investment in our area by considerable tax advantages to doing that. So we're working with Barnes and Thornburg to put together the process of how folks can take advantage of that. And that's all I have.
Along with that in mind, we are meeting with a developer that's going to come in and take a look at. She's already been in once. Look at some different tracts of land that we have and see what it's going to take, because this is a great incentive on her part to move forward with it. So we want to get. That's why we're trying to get some more definition about. Because it's a federal designation, so we're the only one in Randolph County that carries that designation.
And like most things, it probably comes with a window of opportunity. Or is
Well,
it
that's what we're trying to
definite?
verify.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else, Monty?
Yep.
All right. No presenters, old business, chamber updates. Nobody here from the chamber. Ryan Prinky's on vacation. Memorandum of Agreement, Community Christmas. We have that. Jan, was it in the packets?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The updated one's in the packet.
Okay. With all the correct amounts,
Yep.
should we still had a chance to review that? I said it with Ryan before he went on vacation. And that is memorandum with Community Christmas Corporation. Spells out who will do what. Any questions? That's why I said any questions. Everybody feel comfortable with how it was laid out? I sat down with Larry and we went through this and kind of laid out anything that could be. Gives us a nice. It gets them out of the cold storage facility, and it gives us an opportunity to work on the cold storage as well without all that stuff that's in there. So
Awesome.
I've been.
So you like those too.
Oh, mercy. All those new lights I bought and I put on the shelves, they're all leaning this way because they're on shelves that have been rained on.
No.
And the wood is it's that particle board.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's all like bowing in. So all the lights are sitting back like that. You know,
So we're all ready for Christmas.
yeah.
But knowing, which also speeds the process of putting things up and taking them down.
Yes,
correct?
big time. Yeah, and the beauty of it is we will not only will go quicker, but next January our goal is to have everything done. Whereas before we've had to string it along, because there won't be any taking stuff from one place, taking it to another, and taking it to another. There won't be shelter houses filled with boxes and stuff.
Directly to the building.
Yeah, so the park will stay nicer looking all year long.
That'll be more direct on setup too.
Yes, it'll be more directly set up. The supply should last longer because the lights are now hanging in the barn as opposed to all being rolled up and
Right.
put.
And you can check them before you can take them down,
Yeah.
take them out. So.
Yep. So it's all better all the way around.
Well, if there's not any other questions or comments in that regards, I would entertain a motion.
I'll move that we accept the memorandum of agreement for Community Christmas as presented.
We have a first, do we have a second?
One second.
James, take roll call vote.
Can I ask a question first? Because I got these from Ryan, and I was looking at it, and these are updated, or I thought they were updated,
Mhm.
but the financing of the construction, I mean, there's no dollars amounts in those places, so does anybody want to make sure there's dollar amounts in before?
Well, the facility cost is actually has not been finalized because I think
Right.
we're going to add some electric and whatever else.
Yes.
But I guess that's
Not to
that's
We
exceed.
need to.
Do it not to exceed, maybe. I'm just doing it for consideration.
well, I wouldn't do not to exceed because I'm looking out there. I'm adding some stuff as well, some lighting. I'm going to be adding. Well, it's still on the city's part, but some video cameras
Oh,
to the facility.
The other question I have is because it says that Community Christmas will pay back the total construction cost, but the Harry Loy part was supposed to be deducted from,
Yep.
so it's not supposed to be the total cost, it's.
We're
that
taking
cost.
the Harry Loy amount and
Right.
applying it to it.
So I still
it's-
think it needs to be fixed.
So we can deduct that from the final amount. Harry Loy's, how long has that been out there, Jim?
Since, I don't know.
15 years, I
1980,
guess.
don't know.
And it gives us an opportunity to just close that out. So,
And then they got a grant too, I guess, but that doesn't matter because they got the grant and they'll give
yeah,
that to
they got
us.
the grant.
So, I mean, can you just,
We need to just hold off until we,
Oh, we can do that.
I mean,
Hold off till we
I guess
know.
the question
Well-
is there anything that's, any sense of urgency that we have to get this done?
No, I mean, it's,
There's not
Our
a,
part, not
I don't think there's a,
well, Jan, just let's go ahead and, we'll
table it till the.
table till next meeting.
yeah.
The same thing with the lease
Lease
agreement.
agreement, yeah, it should be the same.
I'm okay with that.
Then I'll alter my motion to table.
All right. Next item is the bid opening for storm line extension.
I'll rescind my motion. We don't have to mess with it.
Yes, we invited 3 bids for the stormwater extension to run from on the south side of Chestnut Street from behind Weston's Nursery property and consolidated steel and picking up that water that runs on into the trailer park. We just received 1 bid for it from Logan Ray Excavating. So to install the 546 feet of 24-inch tile and 3 catch basins and of course backfill, survey, locate, and relocating the existing utilities. Bid was $23,000. That was approved by the Board of Works and recommended to you.
Any questions or comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve Logan Ray for the, in the amount of $23,000 even, for the excavating and additional work, including surveying and relocation of any existing utilities on Chestnut Street, right?
Yep.
Chestnut Street.
We have first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
James, take a roll call vote.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
Next item is ordinance 2018-09, ordinance to amend the zoning map for the first reading.
I don't, who is it? Who would know about it? Jim Hufford, do you know about that? Or you?
Monty, were you part of this?
Yeah, and Russ Hodges is here. It's his property down there if you'd have any question on that. But it's basically, and correct me if I'm wrong, Russ, some of his property down there, which was the Pearl Street Body Company area, was zoned as R1, and we're wanting to get it back to M1 manufacturing, which is what it should be in the first place. So that's the extent of that. Makes that change.
So let me just ask this question. So the next ordinance 2018-10, is that one's for one property and one's for the other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
One's at 934 West Pearl, the other is 814 West Pearl.
This is kind of anecdotal, but was that, how did it, was that M1 at one time and then got
No.
changed back during?
It's always been
always been
It
R1
was
all the way
R1, and
back.
for some reason when the body company bought those lots and then built the buildings, they never changed
never
it.
changed.
Nobody ever said anything.
I
They
didn't know
never
if it got
changed
missed in
over.
a transition somewhere. If it
Now,
just-
all the others on Oak Street,
On Oak Street.
from Mulberry on down,
Are-
are all in one.
The ones that,
Houses
the
and
ones that
everything,
shouldn't
but
be.
there they didn't. They tore down and built the buildings on.
That's interesting.
And you've got housing down there that's M1.
Yeah, it's housing, it's M1. We've got
Yeah, it's kind of
industrial lot or industrial property. and
Kind of a
big
mess down there.
Parking lot, empty lot that's R1.
Okay. All right. So we have ordinance 2018-09, an ordinance to amend the zoning map. I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2018-09, which is the ordinance to amend zoning map on the first reading by title only.
We have first, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jane, would you take roll call vote?
Bob Leahy,
yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss, Chad Spence.
Yes.
Oh, I said yes,
Says-
sorry.
Sorry, that was my
He was
fault.
asking me a question.
I motion that we suspend the rules.
Jane, do I have a second?
I'll second.
that.
Jane, would you take roll call vote, please?
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yeah.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
Okay, we suspended the rules. I'd entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2018-09, which is the ordinance to amend the zoning map on the second reading by title only.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jane, would you take roll call vote?
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
All right. Sorry, Jan. Same thing with ordinance 2018-10, ordinance to amend the zoning map. This is the first reading. Any questions or comments? If not, entertain a motion.
Or break precedent. I move that we adopt ordinance number 2018-10, which is the ordinance to amend the zoning map on the first reading by title only.
We do have a second?
I'll second.
Jane, would you take roll call vote?
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes. Once again, I would like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Jane, would you take roll call vote?
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
All right, we suspended the rules. I'd entertain a motion.
How's your hand holding up?
That's yeah.
That's why I brought this glass of water.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 2018-10, which is the ordinance to amend the zoning map on the second reading by title only.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Jane, would you take roll call vote?
Bob Leahy.
Yes.
Jim Hufford.
Yes.
Tim Heiss.
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
Now, Russ, we appreciate this because you pay more taxes now, right?
No, it doesn't affect that at all.
Huh? It doesn't?
Yeah.
The tax has already been adjusted. There's no communication at the county level.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's,
Because
Imagine
it was-
that.
It was set up as heavy manufacturing,
Okay.
and then I went back and had it changed to M1 for warehousing and light manufacturing, but the zoning was never changed. because the two
Yeah, they
don't
can change the
The two do
application
not-
without,
interact.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I had to go to the APC to change the
well,
zoning.
like I said, Joe, at the meeting over there, I had a map there too that the county gave me from another office, and it showed it was all in one. You know,
And it was a new point.
they didn't know what they was doing.
I
One
just
office didn't know what they
recently
was
got a new
doing.
insurance company, and the guy came in and said, if something would happen, there may be a pushback, so
That-
you should change it.
And that's usually where you run into insurance, financing, something will kick
This
it
new
out.
guy
Yep.
dug into some records.
Yeah.
And this is where the homeowners down there in Oak Street are going to run into problems when they go to sell their house or
Right.
something. They won't be able to because of the way it's zoned.
Because of the zone.
Well, I guess we can blame the last county commissioners who signed all these documents, which was Byram, Lincoln Stauffer, and Byram.
Good place to start.
Good place to start.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So now you're all set up.
Yep.
Let's see. All right. Next item is the Union City Housing Authority documents. Did you all get a chance to go through all this? So what the Housing Authority is, we could not own the building, so we transferred it over. Actually, the Union City Redefined will, in this document, will have a note payable to us. So basically, the funds flow from Union City Housing Authority, Union City Redefined, to us, and as it's paid down to the $80,000 then the owner will actually be Union City Redefined. So when you look at it as an umbrella, you'll have Union City Redefined, and one of the Siri's picking up what I'm talking about here. It's interesting. It's word for word right on my phone. Odd. But it will the money under that umbrella it'll benefit the chamber and also Union City Redefined and Preservation Society in there as well. So any projects in the future, they'll be able to have some funding underneath within their umbrella to move forward. And we're working on some new projects through Union City through the Union City Housing Authority to make it more beneficial for everyone throughout the county as well.
What is the reason that the city's not allowed to own the building?
It's federal government.
Didn't we own the building that was invoiced before?
Yeah. Federal government. I thought that was the easy explanation. We're here to help you. Yeah.
Wow.
I asked that question too,
Yeah.
and got no good answer. So, any questions or comments? And actually includes the promissory note in there as well. And then also the lease agreement with the housing authority. So it's a three-way participatory agreement. Any questions, comments? I'd entertain a motion.
I'll move that we accept the document. How to word that? Authority document from Union City Housing Authority, or the Union City Housing Authority document as presented.
Yep. Okay, we have a first, do a second.
I don't call it.
I will second his motion.
James, take roll call vote.
Bob Leahy?
Yes.
Jim Hufford?
Yes.
Tim Heiss?
Yes.
Chad Spence?
Yes.
Okay. Next is the Eco Vehicle System Tax Abatement. This is the CF1. And let's see. Question that I had. They've got the values in there, the assessed valuation. Okay. Any questions or comments? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the vehicle tax abatement for ECO Vehicle Systems, LLC.
And we have a first, do a second.
I'll second.
Jamie, take roll call vote.
Bob Leahy?
Yes.
Jim Hufford?
Yes.
Tim Heiss?
Yes.
Chad Spence?
Yes.
Then next we have the Frank Miller tax abatement. Very similar thing that's been in years past. Submissions of R1. Manufacturing equipment. Estimated values, assessed valuation. Any questions or comments? I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the Frank Miller tax abatement as has been presented.
We have a first to a second.
I'll second it.
Jamie, take roll call vote.
Bob Leahy?
Yes.
Jim Hufford?
Yes.
Tim Heiss?
Yes.
Chad Spence?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the beauty about some of this too, with the Economic Development Opportunity Zone, that will assist us in not having to do this, or whether we have the option to do it. So, okay. Fire truck grant. Monty, you have that?
Yeah, still in process with USDA. they're kind of tied up right now with our wastewater project, so, but they are moving on to their final review, ask us for a couple pieces of information. So I feel like they're pretty close on making some kind of a recommendation on it, or some kind of a funding opportunity on it.
Okay.
I made a mistake on the agenda. I didn't mean to put fire truck grant.
That's okay.
Supposed to
Jen,
be
you could have not said that, and we'd all been good about it.
Yeah,
It was good to get an update. So,
Yeah, that was good, but
this is the-
it's the contract and bill of sale for the 1919 fire truck.
Is that in here?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
All right.
We'll talk about that too.
Well, yeah.
Hope so.
That the 1918. Actually, there were several different things floating around for that vehicle. It had been in cold storage. It was in a fire museum, and nobody got to see. And so we worked out this agreement with one of the employees to allow him to, bring it back up to date, running condition, or whatever else. And then it gives us the opportunity to have it on display in different parades and whatever else. And then we have, in the event that his estate wants to get rid of it, then we have the opportunity to get it back. So
It's the best way to ensure its longevity at the
Yeah.
same time still making it accessible to the public.
absolutely. So I'd entertain a motion if there's no other questions.
I will make a motion that we accept the contract and bill of sale for the 1919 fire truck as presented.
Do we have a first and a second?
I will second his motion.
Jamie, take roll call vote.
Bob Leahy,
Yes.
Jim Hufford,
Yes.
Tim Heiss,
Yes.
Chad Spence.
Yes.
Okay. Next item is the Midwest TV pledge. You want to review your notes, Jan, for that
Yes.
for the council?
Yeah. Back, if you guys remember, it was in September of 2017 that we pledged money to the Midwest TV. And the pledge that I had, they said move to pledge the cable TV franchise fees plus the additional $25,000 for 3 years. So I have a couple questions because the TV franchise fees could be up or down. We were counting on them being about 15,000. So I think that I don't know. I guess I'd rather see an exact amount of what you're pledging. So do you know what you guys wanted to pledge, or should I just do it that way? If the franchise fees are higher than 15, say that fast, higher than 15,000, because I think that's what we were basing this on. If the franchise fees are higher than 15,000, then they're going to get 25,000 plus 18,000. So is that what you guys intended, or did you just want a total of a certain amount? It could go the other way too, like if the franchise fees were less, and then we gave them the 25,000 in addition to that, it might go the other way. I just need to know what you intended and how to do it. The other thing is when is it to be paid? Is there, you're paid quarterly? It says per year, or do I give them the money all up front, or what?
Well, I would like to interject in regard to when it should be paid. I would say quarterly.
That sounds good to me, because the
Definitely make it
fees are
budgeting easy.
received quarterly.
Yeah, that would be.
So now the question is based on the total. And you've listened to the tape several times, and
Yeah,
there's no
and-
definitive answer behind
No,
this.
well, there is. I mean, you pledge the franchise fees plus 25,000, but I think the idea was that it was 15,000 for the franchise fees, so we were pledging 40,000. I got the
That's-
idea that that's what the council
Yes.
thought they were doing.
Yes.
But if I go as how this reads, that's not going to be
That was what has been discussed in the meetings for Midwest TV as well.
right.
Is the 40.
Right. So
Can we make that into
can we amend it? I mean, can we change it?
amend the motion that was made before for clarity purposes, and then also add that how it's to be paid.
It's your
Anyone?
guys' call because I need to abstain from this because I'm on the board for Midwest TV.
So am I.
Oh, you are too? That's right.
Goodness, no,
So we don't have quorum then for
Nope.
Okay.
that.
You have to wait till, we'll have to wait till Dan gets back,
Yeah.
Is that gonna be a problem?
until we get to the end of the year.
Okay.
Not, I mean, I've been paying, I mean, you gave me the, you know, the
You just want
authority to
clarity.
pay it. I just
Right.
wanted more clarity,
Right.
so
Makes sense. Sorry,
I
Bob.
guess
I
that.
didn't hear this. Forgot you were on the board.
Okay.
We don't have it yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Thursday.
All
There
right.
you go.
All right, we will hold off until Dan gets back then. Spring cleanup, as I mentioned earlier, we've got the dumpsters out down there available, and they're going to be available on Saturday and Sunday. The biggest key is, like I said, and it's going to be on the back of our bill as well to remind people that the availability of getting their cleaning up their backyards, their front yards, maybe taking their inside furniture from the front porch down there as well. So, anything else, Jan, Monty, we want to add for spring cleanup?
That I know of.
Okay. Next
I
item.
have a question on that, Brian.
What's that?
On the dumpsters,
Uh-huh.
they said they're open for the weekend. Is that Saturday and Sunday?
Yeah.
Or just from 8
Saturday,
to 4?
8 to 4,
Okay.
and you have to have proof of residence.
Okay.
So,
There will be somebody down there.
Electronics
Yep.
or freon bearing.
yeah, no TV, no AC units, no
Flares.
Tires.
flares,
Refrigerators.
tires, refrigerators, paint, anything combustible.
Chemicals.
So, no, I'm glad you reminded me of all that other added stuff. So, okay. The next item is rental inspection. A couple things that I want to discuss is, and actually Tim and I have talked about this, in regarding the rental registration, and we finally do the inspection. We don't have in there, in the ordinance itself, the proof of insurance. And we've had a property that burnt down on, I believe that would be Howard Street, where there was no insurance on the property. And now that we're trying to collect on getting the demolition paid back to us, whatever. So here we are, looking at going forward, being able to have in there some sort of proof of insurance. Just like when you have a car, you have to have proof of insurance before you get your license. So that's one thing that I'd like to discuss, is putting it in there. Any questions, comments from the council?
I don't know. You would.
Well, they'd have to have proof of insurance during that time, but nothing would stop them from canceling it out afterwards. How we going
Well,
to monitor that? How we going to?
It's true.
Well, basically add a penalty phase on there in the event that there is say there is a loss, and somebody blatantly went, well, I can't say blatantly, say they went and circumvented the situation where they canceled the insurance, then there would has to be some financial recourse tied to that as well.
Have to be.
Yeah, well, we have things to determine, like how often we collect that information, and how do we go through, do we do a verification or anything? And it's, I'm positive on it, but we just need to decide how, or figure out what we need,
How you do that?
how we do that. We may have to look at some other examples to see how to initiate that properly.
Now, the properties I have that I sold on contract, I get a copy of from the insurance company. If they cancel it or if it elapses, they send me a card letting me know right
Mhm.
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if we can do that with the insurance company on something like this, write it in there, what, I don't know. But that is something the insurance companies will do.
Yeah.
Like it's some sort of disclaimer. Upon cancellation, we get notified.
Anytime it's canceled, they notify the,
Okay. Yeah, I was brought up to date by an outside insurance company that had been doing inspections in town. Said there was approximately 30 homes right now that he was aware of that carry no insurance. So, and so if a house catches fire, then the house next door burns down, and who pays for what?
Yeah.
So, okay. And then the other item that we want to discuss is pushing back the startup date for when you have to actually have the registrations in, and that because what we're doing is backing up in regards to the inspector, where we're at for getting them certified and whatever else. So I would make a suggestion right now we can continue to receive the rental registrations, and we can keep promoting that. But where we start the actual inspections, I would say right now I'd put it on 90 days. So 90 days from August, September, October, say October or November 1st. Which is that's what I would suggest. And we can always, and if we're not ready by then we push it back. So. And then the other item that we're adding is for the penalty, basically for non-compliance of registering, not to exceed $500. So we'll be adding that as well. So what I need council to do is actually when Ryan gets back, I will, first of all, you need to delay the date. That's the first and foremost thing that we have to do to November 1. And then when Ryan gets back, I'll go sit down with him to make the revised changes on the insurance for, and see how we can get, if we can get some sort of notification when the insurance is canceled, and then also fee for non-compliance.
Where's the date?
I think we pushed it to July 7th, I believe.
Right, okay.
July 2nd, but I don't think you can do, don't you have to do an ordinance to amend?
Yes.
So we
Yes.
guys should have to.
We have to make an ordinance to
written.
amend.
So if I can't do that till next.
No, but we've got it ready. Hopefully by the time Ryan gets back, then we can maybe have the other amendments made in there as well. I just wanted to have some discussion.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments in that regards? Because it's a pretty big undertaking. Okay.
Gives us the time to get our program together.
This comes to my favorite time of the night, visitors and questions and comments. Anyone? Yes, you have 3 minutes. State your name, address, nature of business.
My name is R. John Desmond, 1267 Zoom Broom Road, Union City, Ohio. In reading the notes regarding the proposal upon which you were just discussing rental ordinances, there are a number of things that were part of that proposal. One was the dollar amount of the insurance, which was $300,000. I'm going to presume that that's liability insurance only, but it wasn't clear, at least at my first reading of that. So you'll probably need some clarification as to what that means, because there's not perhaps a dozen homes that even are worth $300,000, and there's no way you can insure a property for significantly more money than what it's worth. Otherwise, people would be burning them down. And the second thing is there was also in there a proposal for water bills to be billed completely to the landlords and then a bill back to the tenants. I don't know that that's a good idea at all. And
We're not, John, we didn't discuss that. That was just some ideas. That was
please, my time.
No, I agree, and I'm telling you that those things were not in our discussion tonight. We were just talking.
But they were in the proposal.
That was not our proposal,
People
John.
need to know what's
John, that
going
was
on.
not our proposal.
The next one was a part of the proposal that was presented.
John, that's
Notes
not our
that I
proposal.
received.
I'm just trying to tell you that it's not our proposal.
was a change in the ordinance from a 5-year inspection period to a 3. That there was a fee increase
John,
to $200.
You're wasting your time because it's with
I
that.
think the people need to know what's presented to council.
John, it was not presented. It was just that
It was
was.
presented to council. I'm sorry, it was presented to council. It was part of
John, the only
memo.
thing that was discussed that was presented tonight was financial recourse in the event that somebody does not have insurance. The second thing is that we pushed the date back. The third thing we talked about was fee for noncompliance.
I understand that. But
Everything
since
you
this is my
discussed is-
time, I could talk
We're down
about
to
the
1
birds
minute.
and the bees, I think. As long as there's a business reason that the people in Union City need to know is being contemplated, which includes fee increases and the insurance that I mentioned of $300,000, and I saw a few nods of the heads there. The logic behind this is flawed. Munster is a town of 23,600 and some odd people. Union City, according to the same census data of 2010, is a town of 3,584. The average home value in Munster, which is a suburb of Chicago, 30 minutes away, right? Not comparable at all to what we've got here. The average home or medium home value is $197,000. We don't come close. You could take that $300,000 and invest it in tax certificates, you'd end up with 60 homes. So I suggest that when we come up with ordinances and so on, we compare apples to apples and not something entirely out of range. Thanks so much for your time.
John, I'll respond a little bit on this.
Sure.
Just clarify there for anybody watching is that that material was given to us by a citizen.
By an insurance agent, let's be clear.
Well, he's actually
An insurance agent.
has been an insurance agent.
Okay.
Actually, I don't believe he is actively now.
He represents himself to be one in the
Okay.
document.
Oh, Tim, did
But
we
that's not.
did we not discuss this before?
Yes. But,
Before tonight
yes.
and before we received this?
Actually,
from,
we discussed it before we ever received any of this
Yeah.
material. Yeah.
so
So my clarification is that the amounts, the Munster ordinance, none of that is anything that, all we're talking about at this point is contemplating creating an amendment to our ordinance that would include insurance. The idea is there, that's just ideas presented to us, doesn't really have any bearing. The difference between Munster and here really doesn't matter other than, for instance, the 300,000, I don't think that that's a applicable amount for the Union City at all. I don't think anybody here does. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure we'd have to explore what we really need to do if we even need to set an amount on it. And the rest of the proposals is just part of their ordinance that was given as an example of an ordinance, but just as food for thought. So we're just entertaining this in terms of on our own. We were looking at this before, and this material just was given to us as an example of what others are considering. So none of that was our writing.
May I respond?
Sure.
If you recall the Milwaukee study that I gave you that compared, I think, about 25, 26 different communities throughout the Wisconsin area, indicated that one of the downsides of a rental inspection program was the shifting fee rates. Well, certainly in the documents that were part of the council packet that I was afforded as a shifting fee rate from what appears to be $5 currently to $200 and
No.
reinspected.
You're wait,
You're
let
confused,
me
John.
clarify.
If I could just
This,
finish.
no, I'm not gonna let you finish because you're being disingenuous. That is an ordinance from another city, has no bearing on our ordinance that we've already passed. We're not entertaining changing any of that. It was purely, just because it's in our council packet doesn't mean it's something we've created or something we're contemplating doing.
Thank you,
It's part of material that has been presented to us, that the city's been presented, that feels an obligation to present to the council.
I accept at face value what you're telling me. What I'm just simply saying is that I'm trying to be reasonable. Your assurances to that effect are fine. When I see, as a landlord, a proposal, because that's exactly how it was posted in the notes, then it raises a red flag. Thank you for the clarification.
But you got
No
verbatim
hard
from,
feelings.
you got verbatim from the citizen. That's why I'm clarifying.
I'm
So,
cool with
and
it.
if
I'm
you
just trying to
consider,
explain why
okay,
I'm
but if you consider
concerned.
where we started with rental ordinance and registration fees and where we ended up, I think our pattern is pretty clear in that we went from what we started $100 that was in the original proposal, we're down to $5. So I think we've demonstrated what direction we're going. So I don't think anybody needs to be concerned about that part.
I accept that.
Okay.
Our concern is just like the property that burned down on Howard Street that had no insurance.
And we'll be
And
hearing
you
more
owned
about
it.
it.
You owned it.
I said we'll be hearing more about
Yeah,
it.
we will. That's why we're having to do this, because
Now-
people do not, they're tired of seeing some of this stuff being left alone in some of these rental properties, especially down on Pearl Street when you got a pile of dirt that's 6 foot tall.
Now, in housing that has multiple units, the state will actually come in and set what the minimum insurances allow. Like on apartment buildings, stuff like this, they will do. Because I know I had to carry, on my apartment buildings, I had to carry at least $1 million per unit for liability.
Any other questions? Any other comments? Day next council meeting, Monday, July 11th. Board of Works, July 11th at 2 p.m.
June.
I'm taking the month off.
I moved his comment.
Sounds good to me.
Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All right, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye. All right, meeting adjourned.